Hi, it's Miss Mary with an April book Nook. Yeah, book Nook. Nook. Got it. And this is where I'm going to share with you some of my favorite new picture books that have caught my eye here in the library. And the first one I have to share with you today is actually a book that we got back in October. It's titled Balloon, and it's by Bruce Handy and illustrated by Julie Kwan. And it's a lovely little story about a boy in a brand new bright orange balloon. I mean, nothing in the world is much better than having a brand new bright balloon. And also, what's much worse than accidentally letting go of your brand new bright orange balloon? This is a sweet, almost wordless picture book about a little boy who keeps hoping to find his orange balloon after he accidentally lets it go. And like, for example, it might be here, but when we turn the page, we see that's not actually an orange balloon, it's an orange frisbee. And this book has the sweetest little ending of all. I don't want to spoil it for you. I also love the theme of the two complementary colors of blue and orange. Super sweet. And, I love a good wordless book or an almost wordless picture book. It allows you and your little one to tell the story to each other and practice visual discrimination and identifying things in the illustrations to create the story. The next book I wanted to show you is by Daisy Hurt. We got it in February. It is titled, There Is Not Usually a Hole. And this is a story about a little kitty named Betsy and her stuffed crocodile Philippa. You know, they're best friends. And then they find a hole. And then something comes out of the hole. Can you guess what it is? I'm going to tell you because it's not going to give anything away. It's a banana. Oh my goodness. And then an unexpected adventure happens where Philippa and Betsy end up down in the hole. And they might make a friend before the story's all over with. This is just a sweet, simple story with a nice sense of humor, a lot of imagination, and some adventure. The next story is by one of my favorite authors. This is The Future Book, written by Mac Barnett and illustrated by Sean Harris. It's funny. It's silly. In the future, did you know that apples are called bananas? And did you know that apples don't exist? And they have a new color. There's a new color. There's a color from the future in this book. And did you know that in the future, cows are called mooing life forms, and cats are called meowing life forms, and grocery stores are called bolly hoo-hoos. So if you want an exercise in silliness and wordplay, I cannot recommend The Future Book enough. Another new book that we got at the library here in March is titled The Great Escape. This is by Deborah Marcero. And you guys, these illustrations are so detailed and lovely. And this is a great picture book for many different things, one of which is kind of an introduction into the flow of a different kind of storytelling. If your little one is maybe getting ready to make the transition from picture books to graphic novels, this is a great introduction to that. It's also a wonderful story about a girl named Evie who loves magic, has no control over her younger siblings, and tries to escape into her imagination and into a magical world. And let me tell you, that world is truly magical and beautiful. These illustrations just will take your breath away. And it has a nice, sweet, cozy ending, suitable for a story about magic and imagination and adventure. The next book is another one that we got in March that was brand new. It's titled Bartleby, with words and pictures by Matt Phelan. And this is a sweet, cozy story of a bear who goes to school. And you know how a lot of times kids, your friends, whatever, they'll say no. But Bartleby says something different. Bartleby says, I prefer not to. And he says it a lot. Bartleby does things in his own way, in his own time, and that's what makes him extraordinary. And I love his teacher and his classmates in this story. They are so kind and so supportive, and they are willing to give Bartleby the space he needs to find his own place and a way to fit in with the class. Another book I found in March is titled Bothered by Bugs by Emily Gravitt. Yeah, Emily Gravitt. I know we spend a lot of time, especially here in the South, complaining about bugs. We're always being bothered by bugs. And I have to tell you, the animals in the forest in this story are bothered by the bugs too. And they've had it. They decide they are going to do something about it. They decide to collect all the pests in the forest. Look at all those pests. They got every single one of them. And after they've collected all the pests, they discover there was no more food in the forest. No more berries. Nothing. And the forest was a mess. The forest was a mess. Nobody had cleaned up. And the animals realized those jobs of pollinating the plants for food and for cleaning up the forest belong to the bugs. So they set the bugs free, and the bugs clean up the forest. And at the end of the story, the animals cook the food that has been able to grow again, and they share it with their new friends, the bugs. This is a lovely story. I also love that there are recipes at the front and the back. A lovely story about how our environment works, the ecological system, and relationships that are together. And if you've ever asked yourself, what's the purpose of a fly? Bothered by bugs will help you figure that out. And the last book I have to share today, because I could talk about books forever, is Aya Has Never Seen a Bear. This is a Junior Library Guild selection. And I'll be honest, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce the author and illustrator's names here, but if you were looking for this book, we can totally help you find it. This is a story about Aya, a young girl whose grandfather lives a traditional life in the mountains of northern China. And one morning, Aya's grandfather tells her he's going to take her deep into the forest to see bears, something she's been dreaming of for a long time. And so this is their story. It's a beautiful look at a wild place and an introduction to one of the ancient traditional peoples of China. The Orokan people believe that they and all other lives in the forest are part of Mother Earth, it says. And these illustrations are absolutely stunning. So stunning. And look at this. This is their reflection in a pond. Oh my word. And then here are the bears. They do get to see the bears. And when they get to the end, they have to do something to help protect the bears and to help protect the people who live there. The bears had fallen asleep on an old crib mattress that was abandoned there, and they know that they have to protect the bears, so they burn the garbage right there. You can see that illustration. If the bears get used to it, it says they might be attracted to the human world, and that would be dangerous for them and the humans. But it's not a sad story at all. It's actually quite beautiful and deep and meaningful. All right, so that's a lot of books. Those are just some great ones that have caught my eye here at the library. If one of them sounds interesting to you and you think might be a good fit for you, your family, your little one, I love ebooks. Picture books are for everybody. Check it out today, and we'll see you next time. Bye.